Now, the the next thing I wanted to talk about was just having this conversation with your kids. I know a lot of parents feel uncomfortable discussing money with their children, either because they want to shield their kids from the worry, or feel like, oh, they don't need to be concerned about this stuff. Maybe they're unsure about how much to disclose, or maybe just kind of embarrassed with the situation that you're in. But the reality is, teaching kids about money from an early age, it really helps them develop healthy financial habits, and I think confidence as well too. Actually, there's a survey by the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada found that children who learned about finances early are more likely to make sound financial choices as adults. And think about it, that just makes sense, because there's a lot of people I talk to, and even ask yourself, is like, how many times, or have you ever thought about like, oh, I wish I would have learned this growing up. It would be nice to have this conversation with parents, so I wouldn't have to learn this all on my own. It makes a big difference on that. So, I don't know. I think teaching financial responsibility by sharing your budgeting process or explaining why you make certain choices, you're really helping your kids understand how to manage money responsibly. So, and also it helps them just learning from mistakes. We all have financial regrets. Sharing those with your kids, in an age-appropriate way, obviously, can help give them valuable lessons. So don't be afraid to talk about things that you wish you'd done differently, or strategies that worked well for you, and just having the conversations with them. It's not about, airing dirty laundry or clean laundry, I guess. But it's just, hey, this is what's worked, what's happened. So when they come into those situations later on, they can recall those conversations and can help guide them so they can make better choices. Or make the same choices that you made if you made great choices. But also, on that same line, just empowering them for that financial future, so that if they understand the basics of savings, budgeting, investing their money, they're just a little bit, they're so much better equipped to make wise decisions later on once they start earning income and building their life and doing their thing. So it doesn't have to, one thing too is it doesn't have to be a heavy conversation. It really can be simple, just as explaining why you're choosing to save money for a family trip instead of buying, a new iPad or TV or whatever it is. Just teaching them where to delegate and put their money in. And we've talked about that a bunch, but won't take too much more time today. But the other piece is just having a conversation with your parents. Now, it can definitely feel a bit tricky, because we don't want to pry or come across as questioning their decisions. But the thing is, our parents have a lifetime of financial experience, and there's a lot we can learn from them. Actually, a study from Merrill Lynch said that 70% of adults agree that financial conversations with their parents help them understand money better. And sometimes it's just finding out, like, hey, what are great decisions you made in the past? What are some mistakes you made? What would you wish you would have done differently? What do you think worked out really well? And just having those conversations with them. I'm not saying you have to take everything they're saying as advice and you have to implement everything, but it just comes to that curiosity side of it. If you ask questions, you're going to get answers, and you can kind of filter through and see how you want to process that. But again, just like your kids can learn from, the good decisions and mistakes you've made, it's the same thing for you. You can learn from the good decisions and mistakes from your parents, because they've been through financial ups and downs, recessions, housing markets, other life experiences that took place, and understanding what they did right and where they stumbled can really be a valuable learning experience for you. And just planning for your future. Like, as our parents age, knowing their financial situation can be crucial in case you need to support them down the road. They're conversations that are best done sooner rather than later. I've learned this working with clients. If you understand what your parents' wishes are, what their goals are, what they want to do, it just helps with that transition, end of life transition stuff. Because you're all on the same page. It's not like last minute trying to figure things out or hoping that you understand what they said. You have a clear understanding of that. And just, I think a big part of it, having that conversation, just helps building that legacy for your family. Understanding what their legacy wants to be and what that looks like, if there is one, can just help make better financial plans throughout that process. So I encourage you, have that conversation, respectfully, but again, just with curiosity, and you can learn a lot more, and not criticizing about what's going on, just learning what's happening.